everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Ideal Video Blog. I'm your host, Wade Fisher, coming to you live from the driver's seat while we're headed to Jacksonville for the GENETRUST at Cavender's Neches River Ranch sale this weekend. Be selling 100 registered females, approximately 450 commercial females. Those commercial females will sell on Saturday after the field day that they have, and I'm really excited about that and hope that you'll join us there. If not, feel free to jump on dvauction.com. It's free to view, free to watch, free to join on DV. If you want to bid, there's a couple of steps that you'll have to go through. Not too much time, not too labor intensive to do, and you'll be able to bid right along with everybody else. Before we get into the video blog this week, I have to make some corrections from last week. I'd like to thank Phil Stahl, the weekly livestock reporter, for setting me straight on that. I'll be the first one to admit when I'm wrong, and I obviously was this time. Phil and E.C. Larkin, E.C. of the Gulf Coast Cattlemen, were the two that fought with Stanley apparently for years. I know Phil's been in this business since at least 1850s. You know, it set the standard for what everybody is now. Actually wrote a book, the handbook that they all go by. So EC's been in the business quite a while as well. Not near as long as Phil has, but nonetheless. Those guys actually fought with Stanley for years. That we in Texas change over on Easter. I know the guys up north change over May 1st. Hey, more power to you. That's this weekend. I congratulate you on being able to wear your straw hats after this weekend. This week we do have a co-host. That's what I want to call them. They're not guests on the show. They're actually going to be co-hosts for that week. The reason I say that is because past these introductions, they'll be just as much a part of the show as I am. I'm hoping to learn something from them as we go forth, and really excited about the co-host that we can have. This week, I think you'll be as fired up about it as I am. I hope to learn something, at least some history about their ranch and everything that they're involved with. But without further ado, we're going to get into the interview. This is Craig Green. Craig was a person that I knew as we were crossing paths when I was first getting out of college. He was going to work for Chimney Cattle Company, and just been a real good friend of mine. Craig, we're really happy to have you on the show. Great first co-host for us to have. We're really fired up about it. But Craig, tell the people a little bit about what you do on a daily basis.
Well, basically, I'm the general manager of Chimney Cattle Company in Concord, Arkansas. At this time, we're running roughly just a tick over 500 registered cows, a couple of hundred commercial cows. The commercial cows we use for mainly for recips and our embryo transfer program. We're trying to grow as we can, but putting more of an emphasis on the quality side. So as time goes on, we feel like the Brangus breed, as a breed, is very strong. I think this bull market's going to get really good with what these commercial cattle are doing. So
I agree. We've seen some amazing prices on the commercial side as well as the bull side. You know, all the new stuff here in Texas with trim. I think that's been really good for our market. What do you see as the biggest thing that Brangus can look for in the near future?
Well, I think there's a lot of these Angus-based commercial herds out here probably needing to see a little more heterosis in some of their cow herds. A lot of the commercial guys that I've have been talking to over the last probably year and a half through the southeast, Missouri, some of the big cow number states, they've given up some weaning weights, and they're wanting to keep these cattle black, and these guys are wanting to go back and use some of these Brangus bulls and put just a little bit of Brahman influence back in their cow herd. You know, another point that I'd like to make here also, we just weighed bulls off a gain test up at Chimney Rock the 15th of March. And then they weighed bulls off here at Neches River here in the last couple of weeks. We've seen scrotal circumferences increase. We averaged 37.5 centimeters at Chimney Rock, and that's roughly at a year of age. Our IMF is up. We averaged about 4.7, 4.6 on IMF. Rib eyes are still hanging in there in that 14 area. So we're pretty happy where we are.
Awesome. You talked a lot about the Brangus stuff that you're doing. How is GENETRUST taking on the new increase in the ultra black market and the ultra black bulls that we're seeing out there?
Well, the ultra black side of our business it's got a tremendous amount of growth area. We sold some bulls up at Vern's. Ray Johnson actually raised a couple of these bulls. One sold for $7,000, one for $5,750. That's pretty strong. We feel this ultra black deal is going to have some strength in Florida and all over the coastal bend of Texas and some of these areas. So the ultra black deal is where we feel like we're going to add new genetics to our Brangus rather than starting back to scratch with the Brahman Angus and trying to breed up. It just takes so long, and with the opportunity we have now with some of these really high accuracy Angus bulls, that's a logical way to go. So the ultra black deal we feel has got a big future ahead of us.
So that's a great way to do it without reinventing the wheel. So
absolutely, absolutely.
That's good. Craig, just as a final follow-up question, as far as food is concerned, what is your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert.
Oh, I guess it's probably peach cobbler. Homemade peach cobbler with real thick crust, and the cinnamon and the sugar and everything on top, and with fresh Fredericksburg peaches that were picked in July when it's really hot, when those peaches are really sweet. That's probably my all-time favorite dessert.
Well, Craig, I appreciate you being on the show today. Man, you're welcome back anytime. You and I talk, I guess, on about a weekly basis on the show. Appreciate you being here.
Well, I appreciate you, Wade, and like I say, it's sure been a pleasure to know you, and look forward to working with you as time goes on.
Awesome. Hang in there. We got the tech tip of the week coming up in just a second. We're going to show you that from back on the road. To elaborate on what we talked about last week of how to get the word out about your group or your ranch or your company or whatever service it is that you do, that you want to get the word out, the best way is to find the groups on Facebook that you endorse. Somebody that has the same beliefs as you do, somebody that's pretty excited about the same things that you are, and join them. Become a fan of their page. Every time you do something, it'll flow over to their page and their fans that they have, as well as if you can get those people to join your page, become a fan of your page. That's a great thing to do as well. It'll also get the word out about your stuff at the same time. So I encourage you to do that. Like I said, make it stuff that you endorse, that you're behind. If there's some breeders in your, or some ranchers in your breed that you think the same path on, and y'all breed alike, or y'all have the same thoughts for where you want the breed to go, join them. There's some pharmaceutical companies that are out there. There's some service-oriented companies such as Ideal Video Productions that you may want to jump on. On mine, I have some other stuff, of course, DV Auction, Lambert Auction Company, something like that. And I actually need to elaborate on those that I have and join some other pages as well. So that's something I'm going to do. The other thing, once you get to that point, start doing those Facebook status updates. Talk about some things that you've got going on, some stuff that you're excited or fired up about. That's what I do with the blog, is out there, as well as some quotes or whatever's going on. If I'm traveling somewhere, if I'm doing something, I'm going to put that on there. People like that. They actually click a button that says like. What that does is kicks it over to them. Now their personal page has something about your site or your ranch or your group or whatever it is. So you've expanded your network in that regard. The other thing is when they comment on there, it expands it as well. I hope to have some more tech tips for you next week. Facebook, I think, is where we're at there. I'm going to try to do some more on Facebook. Also elaborate. Tumblr, which is where I have mine. Twitter, and some other stuff that I think will be good for you. Until then, thanks for watching. God bless. And I'm glad that people in North Texas got the rain that they needed. It's a true blessing for them. Thanks, and we'll see you back next week on the Ideal Video Blog.